Why busyness isn't the same as meaning. In the frantic, always-on cadence of modern life, busyness has become the default badge of honor. We wear our packed schedules and overflowing inboxes as evidence of our worth, perpetually responding to the question, "How are you?" with the reflexive, weary sigh, "So busy." This relentless pursuit of perpetual activity, however, has a subtle, insidious side effect. It often eclipses the deeper, more profound human need for meaning. It's easy to confuse the vibration of constant motion with the powerful engine of a purposeful life, yet they are fundamentally, existentially different. The societal worship of busyness stems from a few powerful, deeply ingrained myths. First, the myth of productivity as value. We are conditioned to believe that if we are producing something, emails, reports, meetings, chores, we are contributing and therefore valuable. This creates a psychological addiction to checking things off a list, regardless of whether those items actually move us closer to our core values or long-term goals. The dopamine hit of completion can be just as strong from sorting junk mail as it is from finishing a passion project. And often, the junk mail wins because it's quicker and offers a more immediate, though shallow, reward. Second, busyness serves as an incredibly effective emotional shield. A perpetually full schedule leaves little room for introspection, vulnerability, or the discomfort that comes from facing difficult questions about our lives. Am I happy? What do I truly want? Am I living authentically? Busyness becomes a form of escapism, a non-stop distraction that keeps us running just fast enough to avoid catching up with our own thoughts. The moment the music stops, when we find ourselves alone in a quiet room, perhaps on a rare vacation, the silence can feel deafening, and we instinctively reach for a phone or a new task to silence the unwelcome internal dialogue. Meaning, in stark contrast to busyness, is not about the quantity of tasks performed, but the quality of connection and purpose inherent in those actions. It's the deep, resonant sense that our efforts matter, not just to our employer or our social media feed, but to the world, our community, or our personal development. Meaning resides in the subjective experience of life being coherent, significant, and purposeful. Consider the difference between a high-power executive who works 80 hours a week purely to chase a bonus they don't need versus a teacher who works 50 hours a week pouring energy into inspiring their students. Objectively, the executive is busier. They have more meetings, more travel, more high-stakes decisions. Yet the teacher often reports a far greater sense of meaning. Why? Because the teacher's actions are aligned with a profound altruistic purpose. Their daily tasks, the lesson planning, the parent-teacher conferences, the one-on-one encouragement, all feed directly into a clear, meaningful mission, shaping young minds. The executive's actions, while demanding, may only be serving the abstract, cold goal of capital accumulation, a goal that often feels hollow upon achieving it. To transition from the treadmill of busyness to the fulfilling path of meaning, we must practice the radical art of discernment. We must stop asking, "How much can I fit into my day?" and start asking, "What must I protect in my day?" 1. Prioritize deep work over shallow work. Busyness thrives on shallow work. Quick, low cognitive demand tasks like checking email repeatedly or attending unnecessary meetings. Meaningful progress often requires deep work, focused, uninterrupted concentration on a cognitively demanding task that creates new value or improves a skill. Scheduling dedicated blocks for deep work and ruthlessly defending them is a critical step in making actions matter. 2. Cultivate reflective space. The journey to meaning requires moments of stillness. This could be 5 minutes of mindful breathing, a daily journal entry, or a long solitary walk. These pauses are not a waste of time. They are the moments where we recalibrate our internal compass and check if the trajectory of our busyness still points to our true north. Without reflection, we are simply passengers on a speeding train, unable to choose the destination. 3. Define your values and filter everything else. Meaning becomes clear when we understand our core values, the principles we want our life to embody. Example, creativity, family, community, knowledge. Once these values are defined, every potential commitment, project, or task must be filtered through them. If an activity doesn't contribute, even indirectly, to a core value, it's often a distraction disguised as an opportunity and a prime source of meaningless busyness. Learning to say a firm, respectful no to these distractions is an act of profound self-respect and a commitment to a life of significance. Ultimately, the goal isn't to be less busy, but to be meaningfully busy. It's about replacing the constant low-grade hum of irrelevant tasks with the powerful, satisfying thrum of purposeful engagement. The difference is the soul-deep satisfaction that comes from knowing you are not just filling your time, but investing it in something that truly matters to you. Stop measuring your day by the number of things you did, and start measuring it by the depth of impact you created. That is the quiet, revolutionary difference between motion and true purpose. If this deep dive into the purpose paradox resonated with you, imagine the thoughtful discussions we could spark in the comments. Hit that like button if you've ever felt the sting of busy without meaning. Subscribe to join our community as we continue exploring these crucial life concepts, and most importantly, drop a comment below sharing one thing you're cutting out of your schedule this week to make room for more meaning. Your insights fuel our fire.